Hi, I'm Amanda with Oakland County Parks and Recreation's Nature Education Team. Thank you for purchasing our EcoFriends Making Tracks Make and Take Virtual Craft Kit. So inside your kit, you should pretty simply have a couple of pieces of craft foam. They might be different colors, and a cardboard pizza box or some other type of box that has 6 different animal prints on it. So when I chose these 6 prints to use, I did some of the more common ones and then a couple that you may not see all that often in Oakland County. All right. We'll start with one of our more common ones is the raccoon. All right, so also in your kit, you have the craft foam and the cardboard box patterns. What you will need to provide for this kit will be a pair of scissors, tacky glue, or glue gun is my preferred method. I don't have the extra outlet space to put a glue gun here. And an old pair of flip-flops or beach shoes or something you don't really care about messing up. And also you will need a pen or a marker, something to draw with, to trace around the edges. So you could also use a hobby knife instead of the scissors if you have that kind of motor skills. All right, so I'm going to start, I have started by cutting a little bit of space around and cutting the different animals apart. I tried to make this a little bit easier with some dotted lines on your version of the templates, but I was not so kind to myself. This is the initial one. So what's easiest is if you can kind of fold the paper a little bit and get a start so that you're not going from the edges. Because that way we can make the most use out of these and use them for a couple of different things, or at least a couple of different times. And on your template you'll see some say left or right and some say front and rear, and there's a number. So the number is just how many you would have to have one animal. Pretty self-explanatory that birds are going to have 2 feet when most mammals are going to have 4. But sometimes their feet look the same, and sometimes front and back feet look differently. So I'm going to just focus on the raccoon for you, and give you an example of what to do with it, and you can do the other animals. You can pause the video and do them on your own. You can decide which animal you want to cut out first. It's your project, it's completely up to you. I'm all about options. So some of these that say right, well, you can cut out when we get to the foam. You can trace 2 of them. You'll just flip it upside down and that becomes a left. So now I have my right front and my left back raccoon tracks. And these are the ones that I'm going to trace onto the craft foam. These will be my templates, and I'll set them on the craft foam like this and trace around them. This, because we didn't cut from the sides, we can use this as a stencil for other projects. So if you have a canvas bag or even just a piece of paper and you want to draw some raccoon prints, you can use these to put over your paper and then either paint or even just color with a marker or crayon, and you can put your prints all over. And again, if you want to do the other side, you just flip it over. Alright, so then we're going to trace our paw prints, whatever animal you choose, and however many you would like. If you want it to look like this animal is walking, most of these guys, you'll put a front in front of the rear. So you want the toes or fingers pointing in the same direction. And you'll put the left on the left side and the right on the right side. So you'll want to flip and put this side against your craft foam and this side against your craft foam to do the right side. Now if you make a mistake while you're cutting and it doesn't show up just the way you want it to, it's not really a big deal. There's no such thing as a perfect track. Often when we're identifying animals, sometimes we find tracks where there are fingers missing, or they're just longer than they should be. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the animal is missing a finger, but what it means is that the track just didn't show up properly. So it's perfectly okay. And once you have your tracks printed, traced onto your craft foam, then we cut them out. This time I'm going to be just going from the edge to cut them out. You can put your tracks as close together as you can to make the most use out of the most craft foam. This is an EcoFriends kit, so we try to make the most use out of every little thing that we use. Voila! Maybe white was not the best color of craft foam for my background. So the animals on your kit are the two-footed animals are ducks and turkeys, both of which are found here in Michigan. And then we have the raccoons and the deer that are a little more commonly seen, and also mink that are pretty common here around the waterways. And porcupines, which I haven't seen very many in the Lower Peninsula. You're a little less likely to see a porcupine track, too, since they spend so much time up in the trees. All right, one more to go. Oh, and the deer, yes. So the deer, you may notice, I just put ×4 because deer prints, they might vary a little bit in size from the front to the back, but they're the same general shape, and it's not really worth making extra templates, in my opinion. If you would like to enlarge it and make your own templates that are a little bit bigger, that's fine too. Remember, this is just to show you some ideas, and you can always put your own spin on things and use your imagination. So then I have 4 raccoon prints, and I am going to put them, just glue them on the bottom of my shoe. I'm going to put the hands in the front, and the feet in the back. And I'll just glue them on like this so that it looks like the raccoon is walking. Once your glue is dry, well, that's when the projects come in. So you can use these shoes. Well, they're shoes, so you can put them on your feet if you want. And you can use these as kind of a stamp. So if you walk through, or if you walk through some paint, then it'll be on the craft foam, and hopefully, maybe not so much with this shoe since I've got a little wear spot there, but then it will be on, it'll get on the animal prints and not on your shoe, and you can walk through the paint and then make a trail. If you don't want to use paint, you can always just get a tub and put some water on it, in it. And then do the same thing. Walk through the water and see if you're just going to leave raccoon prints behind. If your shoe isn't quite as big as mine, or I should say with a shoe as big as mine, if you've got a larger shoe area, you might want to cut these out twice and then just cut or glue a second layer of craft foam if you find that the paint is putting the entire human footprint there instead, or the water. You can always add just another layer of the craft foam. So in this way, you've now got a stamp. You can put them on your feet and walk through and create different artworks, or you can just stamp it put your hand in the front, and you can use it that way to make different art projects, and see what you can come up with. It's an easy enough project that you can do different animal prints. You can find other templates online for different prints and see what your imagination comes up with. See if you can come up with a different kind of game or anything like that. Thank you and have a great day.